What's going on, guys? Today we have another amazing fantasy series. This one could maybe even rival Percy Jackson. Can't believe I said that. Let's get into it. The book we are talking about today is, or it's a series really, but it is Septimus Heap Wizard Apprentice. I don't know how popular this book is, but I thought it was amazing. Seriously, it was an awesome book. It's one of the few book series that I actually own. Case in point, it's right here. But yeah, it was just a really, really good book. I really liked it. It is a 7-book series. I'm trying to grab it off my shelf. It's 7 books. I'm gonna drop these. Hold on. Should I leave this in or not? Here it is. You got Magyk, Flyte, Physik, Queste, Syren, Darke, and Fyre. Fyre is one of my favorite books of all time. All of these books they are just amazing. Let's get started with a bit of a brief synopsis. The first book, oh, no! I literally just dropped 3 out of the 7 books in this series. 4, I dropped 4. Okay, I'll go pick those up. I'll be right back. Alright. I've now completely screwed up the order that they were in, and probably messed them up, the covers and whatnot. So, there's that. Yeah. What was it? Oh, yes, Magyk. That is not Magyk. Magyk is here. Magyk is the first book in the series. It's a great book. All of these books are very, very good books. Basically, little bit of a plot synopsis. Our main character is a boy. He is the 7th son of a 7th son, which makes him a very, very powerful wizard indeed. There's a lot of fighting and stuff. Big bad necromancer takes over the town. Our main character, Septimus Heap, doesn't know that he's the only one who can stop him. He doesn't even know that his name's Septimus Heap. Blah, blah, blah. It's a really good book. I'm not selling it very well, but it is great. Yeah, you got these 7 books, because he's a 7th son of a 7th son, and 7 is a very magical number, apparently. Magyk, great book. It is a great start to a series. I've mentioned before with Percy Jackson and Vladimir Todd, the series themselves are great, but like the first book of Percy Jackson, the first book of Vladimir Todd, they're not written very well. These books were not like that. Magyk was written very, very well, and it continued to stay well until the last book, Fyre, which was amazing. Fyre was, I don't know, what I can say about Fyre. It was amazing. I'll give you a brief little synopsis of what happened in each book. So to start, Magyk, great book. Basically, our main character learns that he is a wizard and defeats the necromancer that has taken over the town. Next one, Flyte. Flyte is the 2nd book in the series. It did seem a little bit like the author had not intended to write a 2nd book, so this felt more like a sequel than a 2nd book in a series, which I guess is the same thing, but it didn't feel entirely intended as a 2nd book. It continued on with the plot of Magyk, the 1st book in the series. Basically, that necromancer I was talking about gets resurrected by our main character's brother. Yeah, that happens. So a lot of other stuff happens in that one. Our next book, Physik. This was when the series aspect of it really started to kick off. You could tell this was not a conclusion to a trilogy or something. This was the third book in a series. The author kind of knew, I think, by this point that this was going to be a longer series. But, yeah, the cover's green. Okay? I don't know what else to say. I'm sorry, but imagine kind of green swirly mist right there. And he's got a green robe on. And at the top of the staff is green. It's a very green cover, so it doesn't work very well. But basically, in this one, this is one of the best ones. The plot is the intricacies and the backstabbing. Basically, our main character is flung 500 years into the past and has to learn alchemy, which is a skill that he has not learned much of yet, but does come to benefit him greatly in the later books. The plot of this book and the characters introduced in this book, they continue very far later into the series, as some other books do not. The next one, Queste. This was another really, really good one. It's blue. I don't know why it's evaporating, but imagine it being more blue and less completely hollow. Basically, our main character is tricked into accepting a very dangerous, very dark quest, and now he must complete it. But as it turns out, he was gonna go to the object of the quest anyway, so it turns out all good. But this is a very good book. I don't want to spoil the plot too much on that one. Syren. Oh, Syren. It was the worst book in the series. Seemed like the author kind of ran out of ideas by the time they wrote Syren. So, it seemed a little out of place. It was set in an entirely different place from where the rest of it was set. It wasn't terrible. It just was not what I would come to expect from this series. But basically, our main character is stranded on an island with their dragon, who's gotten badly injured. But the island is inhabited by a siren, and it kind of goes downhill from there. You know, kind of not terrible, just not what I'd come to expect. Next, we have Darke. This way, it was building up the tension to the finale of this series in Darke, and it was awesome. Septimus Heap, our main character, is about to enter Dark Week, but at a Dark Week of his apprenticeship, where he learns all aspects of a dark magic. But just as he starts, a dark domain swallows up the queen's castle, and Septimus must save it. This was a good book. It was building up the tension. You could tell the last book was coming, and it was amazing. Oh, let's see, and now, yes, the finale, Fyre. Yes, this was another great book. This was, I'd say, the best book in the series, as the finales often are, unless we're talking about the Trials of Apollo series. Hot take. But Fyre, basically, all the characters, everything learned in the previous 6 books culminates in defeating the ancient ring of dark power, the two-faced ring, the source of all the dark magic. And Septimus must destroy it using a combination of alchemy, magic, dark magic, and dragons. This one, it's the best book in the series, which is saying something, because this is a very good series. So that's kind of the whole series. I would say this series is very good. One thing that this series doesn't have is a plot that stays kind of the same, an inter-series plot over the whole series. It kind of seemed like this author wasn't really sure they'd do a series, which is fine, but it is like when you're reading Percy Jackson, it's very satisfying. They're fighting Kronos the whole time, and then they eventually defeat him. Whereas with this one, it's all over the place. Like, there's different plots in each book, and they don't connect very well. That doesn't make it a bad book. Each book, it is good. You can read each book individually, and they work perfectly well. Like, you can't read, like, the third book in Percy Jackson without knowing what happened in the first and second books. Whereas with this one, you can read any book, and if you kind of know the characters already, like you've read it a while ago or something, it still works. You don't need to know the intricacies of the plots of the previous books to read these books. Yeah. Oh yeah, another thing that I dislike about this series is the fact that there's not a lot of romance in it. I am a bit of a romantic. I like the romance in the plot. If you've watched anything on this channel before, you are well aware of that. And this series did not have that, so that was a little disappointing. I was a little bit bummed about that one. But other than that, and other than the fact it does not have an inter-series plot, I think this is a great book. You could sit down and you could read all of these in 12 hours, and it would not be a waste of time. Yes, but I think that just about concludes Magyk. I highly recommend it. I will leave a link to the series down below. You could also find my Goodreads, Patreon, and Discord. I've decided to give up on the Instagram and Twitter because I'm not posting anything up there, and so you can go follow me there, but not a whole lot of point to it. Anyway, thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Leave a comment if you want. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.